Good afternoon, I'm Marianna Petraki and this is News4U broadcasting live from Athens. One day after the positive evaluation by the Troika for the endorsement of the sixth aid tranche early November, the Greek government is accelerating the implementation of new measures. By the end of next week and before the EU summit of the 23rd of October, the bill, including all new measures, should be approved by the Greek Parliament. Meanwhile, at a European level, upcoming decisions will depend on two aspects: the percentage of haircut of the Greek debt and the proposals concerning the recapitalization of banks. Outgoing President of the European Central Bank, Jean-Claude Trichet, stressed out that Greece should avoid bankruptcy if all decisions made on July 21st are implemented.
Greek government is speeding up implementation of new measures as there is strong social reaction in form of strikes and mobilizations. New bill being discussed at the Greek Parliament includes all changes as required by the Troika. Further measures include further cuts on wages, shutting down of companies of the broader public sector, cuts on pensions and allowances, cuts on subventions of insurance funds. The Greek cabinet in today's session approved 6 new bills. The government has set the vote of all new measures as a target, as well as the beginning of their implementation no later than the end of the following week and before the next EU summit on October 23rd. One day after the Troika left Athens, giving a first green light for the next aid tranche, Prime Minister George Papandreou spoke on the phone with head of IMF Christine Lagarde. They spoke about the Greek debt, the Troika's evaluation and agreed to be in open communication. Outcoming President of the European Central Bank expressed his estimation that Greece could avoid bankruptcy if all decisions of the 21st of July are observed.
The crisis has reached a systemic dimension. As the board said in a press release immediately after the General Board meeting of the 21st of September, over the last month, sovereign stress has moved from smaller economies to some of the larger EU countries. I stress once again that it is a matter of urgency that all authorities act in unison with total commitment to safeguarding financial stability.
President of the Eurogroup, Jean-Claude Juncker, stated that next aid tranche will not be endorsed if the Troika ascertains delay on the implementation of new measures. In latest development, Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin said that Greece is the biggest problem for the Eurozone, but insisted that the problem is not unsolvable. We need 1.3 trillion euros to put Greece back to the right track, he noted, adding that Greek economy constitutes only the 2% of the European gross domestic product. Meanwhile, Slovakia looks set to ratify urgent euro bailout reforms in a second vote this week.
President of the European Commission, José Manuel Barroso, is presenting his proposals regarding the recapitalization plan for European banks. Reactions are expressed mainly from banking associations and especially from German banks. German Banks Association, in a statement issued yesterday, expresses disagreement to an eventual change of the 21st of July decisions concerning the support of the EFSF fund and banks' recapitalization. In the streets of Athens, garbage has created great problems. There is great concern for common health. The head of the First Instance Court Public Prosecutors, Eleni Raikou, ordered a preliminary investigation to determine why refuse was not being collected in Athens. Rubbish has piled up in the Greek capital. Prosecutor Raikou has called the authorities of Attica municipality to explain why rubbish is not being collected when the workers have not declared an official strike. Today marks a great day for Israel and Hamas. It is the first time an Israeli government agrees to swap Palestinian prisoners with Palestinian militant group Hamas. After 5 years, Gilad Shalit, the Israeli captive soldier by Hamas, is expected to return home. In exchange, 1,027 Palestinians held in Israeli jails are going to be freed. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Shalit will be home in a few days. Tens of thousands of people took to the streets in northern Gaza to celebrate the deal. Shalit had been captured in a deadly cross-border raid in 2006 by militants from 3 Gaza-based groups. His ordeal has captivated the whole nation.
It's a great step forward toward the release of Gilad Shalit. He is still there in the hands of the Hamas, and we all hope that if we will remain self-controlled, he will be here at the hands of his family in a relatively short time.
The United States accused Iran of supporting the assassination plot of the Saudi ambassador in Washington. According to U.S. authorities, 2 Iranians were charged over the plot, which, according to officials, implicates Iran's Revolutionary Guard. One was arrested last month. The other was believed to be in Iran. U.S. Secretary Hillary Clinton said the suspected plotters had been trying to involve hired killers from Mexican drug cartels. Iran has denied the charges and expressed outrage at the accusations. The U.S. State Department, however, issued a worldwide alert about possible anti-U.S. actions. Today, 12 October 2011, marks 67 years from the liberation of Athens from the Nazi occupation forces in 1944. After 1,625 days, the ancient capital of Europe, the birthplace of democracy, was free to smile again.
Καινούρια τώρα ζωή, ας ξαναρχίσουμε οι δυο μας κι ας πούμε πως με πρωτοείδες αυτό το πρωί.
12 October 1944 was a sunny Thursday morning in Athens, and there came the bells chime. The bells invited Athenians to come out into the streets and celebrate the end of the Nazi occupation. During the previous night, German vans and lorries headed to the north, and at 6:30 a.m. the departure of the main military force started. After a short ceremony at the monument of Soldier Unknown, the only thing left to be done was the lowering of the swastika from the holy rock of the Acropolis. It had lasted 1,625 days of shame and devastation, humiliation, blind killing of civilians, executions, but also of the bravest, noblest resistance ever. At 9:15, a German soldier brought the swastika down, and thus signaled the end of the Nazi occupation. A wild celebration would then begin in the streets of Athens. Thousands of Athenians with the blue and white Greek flag were kissing each other, falling in each other's arms, wishing each other Christos Anesti, Christ is resurrected, while the Greek national anthem, the Ode to Liberty, echoed all around. And the BBC announced the liberation of the ancient capital of democracy.
Αναγγέλωμεν εις των ελληνικών λαών ότι οι Αθήνες στέλνουν τον πρώτο ελεύθερο χαιρετισμό. Σας μιλούν ελεύθερε Αθήνε. Αναγγέλωμεν εις τον κόσμο ολόκληρον ότι οι Αθήνε ελευθερώθηκαν.
This is Athens. This is Athens. It is Athens calling. You will hear again the free voice of Greece.
It would be at the most appropriate place, at Syntagma Square, Constitution Square, from the balcony of Megaron Pali, that Georgios Papandreou Sr. would give his momentous speech 6 days later.
Ασπαζόμεθα την ιερά αναγή της ελευθέρας πατρίδος, αλλά προσέ περισσότερον λαέ των Αθηνών, λαέ της περιφέρειας της πρωτευούσης, ανήκει ο εθνικός έπαινος. Εδώ επάλετο η αδάμαστος καρδία της Ελλάδος. Και προς σας νέοι και νέε εκφράζομεν των θαυμασμών μας. Είχατε μεταβάλει εις καθημερινήν συνήθειαν την πρόκληση του εχθρού και την περιφρόνηση του θανάτου. Εμπρός εις τα στόμια των πολυβόλων του εζητοκραυγάζατε την Ελλάδα.
The country was devastated, its factories destroyed, its fleet bombed or lost in battle, its villages burned down, But on that sunny Thursday, October the 12th, 1944, in every Athenian warm heart was treasured the old motto of the Pan-Hellenic Liberation Front, EAM. Τι κι αν τα δαχτυλίδια έπεσαν αφού τα δάχτυλα μένουν ακόμη? What if the rings have fallen? We still have the fingers. Athens was smiling. Greece would finally be free to breathe.
Internationally acknowledged musician Yanni has adopted a female panda baby from a research base in southwest China. The base had invited the Greek composer and singer to adopt the panda, which marks a first for a Western artist to be honored with such a gift. Traditionally, such privilege is usually reserved for countries rather than personalities. Officials from the research base said they had chosen Yanni because of the inspiration and harmony deriving from his music. At the adoption ceremony, Yanni told reporters of his pride of adopting the 2-month-old baby panda.
I accept this gift and this honor with great humility and a profound sense of responsibility towards the country of China.
Greece beat Georgia 2-1 and qualified for the Euro 2012 finals that will be taking place in Ukraine and Poland. Greece finished at top of Group F after stealing victory from Georgia in Tbilisi. Greece won with 2 late goals scored by Fotakis on the 79th minute and Charisteas just 5 minutes before the end of the game. Croatia is at the second place of the group after beating Latvia 2-0. In business news now, the Athens Stock Exchange records great losses of 5.53%. The index is currently at 765.56 points. Just to return in business again, the Athens Stock Exchange records great gains of 5.53%. These are the top stories for now. You can also watch News4U on web TV by live streaming at www.ertgr. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned on ERTWORLD.